What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Always another opportunity to do great things. You guys are the greatest audience on the face of this earth. I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. And it is Friday. It's crazy that it's Friday. You know, I was talking to a fellow content creator of mine, and they're a little bit newer to the game, obviously, than I am. And you'll be surprised the amount of us that actually talk. And I'm not just talking about from a content creator's perspective. Also, people that transition away from sports into content creation, people that may have traditionally been on regular networks, but then they transfer into being their own content creator and running their own businesses and stuff like that. So I was talking to a fellow content creator yesterday, and it was like Anton, and he was asking me how I set myself up, and we help each other out. We don't hate, we don't withhold information. We make sure that the bag chasers is taken care of. We make sure that our friends and family is taken care of. So it was asking me, and they said, Anton, what is your schedule, and how do you do what you do, and what's your recording schedule, and how do you, even when you're traveling out of town and you went to the inauguration and stuff like that. And it was like, yo, how do you not get dragged down? How do you not get tired? How do you not get burned out? How do you not, want to take a day off or sleep in for the day? How do you still get up at 4:30 in the morning every single morning to prepare for the day? And at first I started giving them all of this insight on how you're supposed to move, and scheduling and systems and getting stuff set up and ramping up and all of that. But honestly, it really just comes back down to genuine passion and love for the game. You got to love the game. It's just like on a basketball court, right? And you could tell the players that actually love what they do and love the game versus the people that showing up for a paycheck. Usually the people that show up for a paycheck, they play their hardest during the contract year, and then they take time off, and they always injured, and they got just as many days injured as they are on the court. But for some reason during the contract year, they show up, and I was telling this person, I said, we don't give our audience and the people that rock with us enough credit for being able to see through to the truth of who really is about this life and who's really just here to get a check. It's some people, and y'all could tell, I ain't about to name no names. I ain't about to be messy. I'm not about to get into all of that. Y'all could tell the people that's here for a check or the people that's doing it because they think that they can make some money from it versus the people that's just doing it authentically and then the money just follow them. And this is not just applicable to content creation. This is applicable across the board. Now, I was talking to somebody yesterday about Molly, right? Y'all all know Molly. Molly is a part of the family. Shout out to Molly in the chat. And I was talking to somebody about Molly yesterday. Because they had mentioned to me that Molly, she rocked. Like, she don't miss shows. Like, she honestly, because what people don't realize with me is I'm not the type of person to micromanage. I'm not the type of person to chase nobody. Whenever somebody be like, hey man, I'm gonna be late, I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Hey man, I'm gonna miss the show because I gotta take care of this. I gotta go and do this. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, and you don't even have to give me a reason. Like, I'm one of those type of people. Right? You don't have to give me a reason because do what you gotta do. Like, I'm not the type, even in my, outside of content creation and stuff, I'm not the type of guy or manager or micromanager to where you got to give me an excuse. Oh, my mother is sick, and hey, I'm not gonna be there today. Okay, I got you. Cool. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You just need to do stuff. Life is lifing. But I was talking about Molly yesterday because somebody asked me, they said, what do you think about Molly? Whatever, so on and so forth. I said, well, what do you think about Molly? And they said, man, she don't miss. They said she's probably one of the only people that you've dealt with thus far that probably is there every single, there's like, just as much as I expect for you to be online for the after hours, I expect to see Molly. And it was actually one of the greatest compliments because she mirrors my work ethic. You know what I'm saying? She mirrors the love for it. You can tell when somebody love the game and they not there for the fluff. They not there for the clout. She not there for all of that. I'll go one step further for you just to tell you what the type of person she is. When me and her talk on the phone sometimes, and I'll ask her and I'll say, hey, what do you want out of this thing? What are you looking to do? Or are you looking to do your own thing? Because I'm always the type of person who want to help people build their own thing. Some people ain't interested in that. Some people just want to rock out. Some people just love the game. Some people just love to do what they do. And that's just it. And you got to figure out how to take care of them because they ain't asking you for nothing. They ain't asking you for no money. They not asking you for all of that, right? And so I'll talk to her on the phone and I'll say, hey, what do you want out of this? What's your goals or whatever? What do you want to leapfrog and branch off in your own thing and we break, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And she just be like, nah, I'm just rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't trying to start no Instagram. She don't want all of the visibility. She'll call you and be like, hey, do you think that, because I don't want, and listen, do your thing. Make sure you rock out. You're doing phenomenal and all of that. And it's the honest to God truth. And so what I'm trying to tell you and the meaning of what I'm using her as an example for goes back to the conversation that I was having with the content creator / person that transitioned into content creation. Some people are there for a check. Some people will tell you anything you want to hear just because it sounds good because they think it's going to make you happy about the content that they're producing. We different over here. We bag chasers. We Patreon members. We level up. We authentic. And you got to love it. Whatever you do, when I get in, the reason that I don't take days off is because I don't want to take no days off. I can go and stream from the crib if I want to. I'm not interested. I love coming into the studio. I love hitting these lights right here. I love cutting this TV on back here. I love playing around with the new studio. It's the reason why I invested. I'm not going to invest a whole lot, 6 figures into my studio and then not make the best of it. I'm using it. I plan on being here. I love kicking it with you guys. I love looking at the chat as my co-host. So I do. I want to say this. I appreciate you guys. I genuinely, when I say I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for making my dreams come true, for allowing me to serve you and to give you the entertainment, the medicine, and the candy, and the things that helping you get you throughout your day. Educating you while at the same time making you laugh. I know I joke a lot. I know I like to, you know what I'm saying, plug at some of y'all and use y'all as an example. But it's all because I love what I do. I love this game. I love it. I love cutting this camera on. The worst part of my day is when my connection be going out or I got to end the live stream and I can't keep rocking. And I know that I don't look forward to weekends when it comes to the work. Damn. I mean, I can't stream till Monday. And then all of the people around me be saying, you need to take a break. You need to take some time off. No, don't stream today. Just relax, just rest, just take a vacation. I don't like that. Vacations are work. Work is a vacation for me. Honest to God on everything in me. Vacation to me is work. Wait, what? Hey, what we doing today? We ain't checking on emails? We ain't got I'll be ready to cry. When I go out of town, on everything in me, I be ready to, I be so ready to come home. I want to come home. This camera, the setup that I got, this makeshift thing that I got to do inside of this hotel, this ain't getting it. This ain't the same, boo. When I come home, I be like, ooh, wee. Because home life is better than vacation. And I'm just saying, it's work. It's work going out. Oh, what? But like, you want to go on an excursion? No, I'm sick. As soon as they leave, dial up, time to go live. So I do. I say this because it's Friday, and you know we're a little unhinged on Friday. But I do. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all make my dreams come true. Hopefully, I add value into y'all life. I help get y'all through y'all day. I entertain y'all. And I help y'all make some money. You know, we can do it all. We can have all of our cake and our dessert and our entrees and our breakfast, and we can eat it too. All right. I love y'all. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. All right. Y'all ready to get to it? Let's get to it. First, I want to say shout out to Rand Wilson. I appreciate you for holding me down on Cash App. Mike, that dude. What up? What up? What up? You be missing me, Ashley? I miss you too, baby. Rita knows she gotta share me. She gotta share me with y'all. That's it. Ollie Collins, Mike, that dude, you hit me off today. Ollie Collins, thank you for holding me down in Killing Dayo. Says AD been grilling. Glad to see you upgrade. I appreciate you, Dylan. Thank you to everybody that held me down on Cash App. Let me hit the super chats and then we'll go ahead and get started with prayer and we'll hit it up for the day. The sun says, you know we lit when you catch that Tiege Hanley ad. I guess it's time for me to do another Tiege Hanley ad. What y'all think? They like the last one that I got going on. Anton, shalom, another day, another opportunity. Thank you, Whiskey Pierre. Pierre, we in here. Can you sing happy birthday to my girl Jazz? She turned 31 today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jasmine. Happy birthday to you. Shout out to Jazz. Happy 31 years around this earth. It only gets better from here. The best days is ahead of you, not behind you. When you get up past 30, hit 40, 40, it's like you just take off. Take off. 40 is the golden age. 40 is the golden age. Happy birthday, everybody in the chat. Wish happy birthday to our family. Jasmine that turned 31 today. And shout out to everybody whose birthday was all in January. We going into February. Shout out to y'all. Let's continue, y'all. Shout out to your girl. Latrell M says, what up with the two ball? Leisha Williams says, good morning, Anton. Still LOL at Slim the Furnace. That was on after hours. Make sure y'all tap in the after hours tonight. Spax or F Cash? Spax. Go with Spax. That's the two different options that you can use when you sign it up for the brokerage account on Fidelity. Go with Spax, big dog. Shout out to y'all. All right, y'all ready to get started with the show? Let's get started. All right, so Lord, we ask that you come before us today and just be with us. Bless us to enjoy the weekend. Bless us all to be safe. Bless us to enjoy life. Every day, God, I know I say I thank you. I know I say I praise you. I know I acknowledge you. But I just want to thank you for another lease on life. I woke up yesterday, not even this morning, God. I woke up yesterday and I was excited about life again. You know, it's like you catch a third wind. And I'm not saying excited about life again like I wasn't always excited about what I had going on, but I had so much going on that I couldn't pay attention to what was happening in life. And I sat back and I thought about it, and it was right after the Millionaire Morning Show. And I had like a little bit of excitement that just ran through my veins for no reason at all. And it wasn't like anything was different than it always is, but it was just because I just was reignited and re-excited about opportunities that's before us, because every day we leave it on the floor. You know, it was some people in that plane crash yesterday. Nobody survived. Nobody survived. They was figure skaters. They were coaches. They woke up that morning to catch their flight from Wichita, Kansas to come over to DC, and they never made it. And I don't have to wait for a tragedy to happen to somebody in my life or in my life in order for me to acknowledge you, because I want to acknowledge you when things are going great, and I want to acknowledge you when things may not be so great. But I really want to acknowledge you when things are going great, because, you know, you have been one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me in my life. I trust you. I believe you. I love you. Oh, Lord, I love you. I genuinely love you. Sometimes prayer for me is just not about asking for things, and it's not about trying to seek or petition on behalf of other people. It's just to say, I love you. I love you, God. I genuinely love you. I love everything that you've done for me. I love the life that you've built for me. I love you making me who I am. I love the fact that you gave me a bald head. I love the fact that you gave me a daughter. I love my family. I love my chasers. I love every single thing about my life. I adore you because you are the greatest thing to ever happen to me. And I will never turn my back on you. I will never trade on you. And I will always, every single day, seek out your guidance and 100% go 100% full force into doing your will. You are the greatest thing ever. Ever. I will never not praise your name. I will never not acknowledge you. I will never, ever in my life not acknowledge you. You are the greatest thing ever. I love you. I appreciate you. And my only prayer is for you to show somebody else, somebody that's listening to this right now, show them your greatness. Help them to understand what you did for me. You could do it for them too. And it ain't about the stuff. It's about the excitement, the joy, the feeling that you get about doing great things. Give them what I have. Don't take it away from me now, but give them what I have when it comes to joy. Let them experience life in its full nature. And you don't have to have $1 billion to do it. Just give them the peace and the joy and the happiness and a great character, and help them to understand that you can live a clean life. You can do it the right way, and you can still be excited about life and have a great time. I love you. I appreciate you. I ask for everything in Jesus' name. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Y'all ready to get started with the show? Life is good. We got another opportunity to do great things. Let's take advantage of it, family. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get it popping. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. I'm just excited, y'all. I don't know why I'm excited, but I'm genuinely excited about life. Let's get it popping, y'all. First things first, we got to give y'all an update on what's going on with the plane crash, of what's happening in DC. This is the latest news, and this is the latest angle. They said they got a different angle of what happened during the plane crash. Check it out.
And breaking overnight, CNN has exclusively obtained 2 new videos offering a more direct angle and vantage point of the midair tragedy between the American Eagle's flight and the Black Hawk helicopter. A warning, these videos are difficult to see, as we are also learning more about the 67 lives that were lost in this collision. This morning, the New York Times is reporting that the helicopter may have been flying outside of its approved flight path. and higher than it should have been. We'll get much more to that. Let's get to the videos. The first video we want to show you, the bright light that you see at the top is the American Airlines jet as it approached the runway. Then you see the helicopter flying directly into the frame.
That's crazy.
Into the plane. Both aircraft immediately then crashing down into the Potomac River. The second video, it appears to be surveillance video from the airport and showing the very same helicopter moving along the river as the plane approaches the runway at DCA, and then the collision and the explosion and into the Potomac River. Horrifying. Both now to the investigation into what led to that horrific crash. Both of the so-called black boxes have been recovered from the commercial jet, are being examined and analyzed. Those black boxes are going to be key to pinpointing what exactly happened in the moments before the deadly crash. CNN's Renee Marsh is following all of this live from Reagan National Airport. Renee, what is the latest that you're picking up?
Well, let's focus on the victims first. Kate, we can tell you that as of this morning, 14 bodies are still missing, 4 of them still pinned inside of the aircraft, and 2 of the soldiers who were inside of that Black Hawk helicopter have yet to be recovered. We know.
That's why I'm so thankful, man. That's why I'm so thankful right there. Is because it didn't have to be. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have to be. And that's crazy. The way that these people died and these horrific deaths, because it is no guarantee that they died instantly. You don't know who was panicking, who was screaming. Gosh, that is a absolutely horrific way to go. Still pinned, burst in flames, freezing water. You just sitting there and everything is going well, and the next thing you know, everything just go. No turbulence, no rain, no snow, no nothing. It's just, that's just the end of it. Crazy, bruh.
That recovery efforts will resume soon as sun comes up this morning. Now, we also are expecting the flight manifest with the names of the victims, all of them who were on board the commercial aircraft, to potentially be released today. And we also know that President Donald Trump has plans to meet with some of the victims' families. It is unclear when that meeting will happen. Now, as for the investigation, that is ramping up this morning. You mentioned the black boxes have been recovered from both aircraft, both the airplane as well as the Black Hawk helicopter. The NTSB telling us yesterday that they expect to have a preliminary report with a readout from these black boxes within the next 30 days. Investigators are also waiting for a crane to arrive on this crash site. That crane will be helpful in trying to remove much of this debris. That will be critical in this investigation, as well as the debris will hold clues for investigators. And Kate, this morning we're also learning about staffing in that air traffic control tower. We heard that air traffic control audio in which they warned the pilot of the Black Hawk helicopter about the commercial regional jet. And now CNN has learned that one air traffic controller was actually working 2 different tower positions, directing traffic for both local traffic as well as helicopter traffic. However, this source tells us that that is not out of the norm. Kate?
I'm right. There's also.
That's pretty insane, man. That is absolutely positively insane. I mean, you just can't, because it's not like you can ever bring them back. You know what I'm saying? So you can't pray for them. You got to pray for the people who are affected by the crash, including their friends and their families. And I don't even care about no lawsuits. Like, yeah, they're going to be compensated, I'm sure, but no amount of money is ever going to allow for them to be able to get their family back. Crazy, man.
Also new reporting today about some other recent close calls at DCA. What are you picking up on that?
Right. So what we have learned is just about a day before Wednesday night's deadly incident that there was another flight approaching Reagan National Airport, and it was forced to abort its first landing after a helicopter came close to its path. So concerning information that there was another situation where a helicopter, yet again, coming close into its path. And I've spoken to several people within the aviation industry yesterday, and they brought up this idea that it is time to ask the question as to whether these military aircraft should be flying in the same airspace along the same path as these commercial aircraft, of course.
And it was only a matter of time based off of what I hear. I mean, I was talking to Mika yesterday. She over in DC. And she was saying some stuff, and she was just basically like, yo, I was telling you, this junk is always like this. Happens all the time. And people just get used to it. It just becomes the norm. You know, and you usually don't see rapid change, you know, because people just expect, when you go to the airport, you expect to land, you expect to get there. Maybe you have a little bit of turbulence, sleep on a plane, get a meal or two or whatever. You don't expect for anything bad to happen or for there to be a problem. You just do it. It's like getting in a car. You're much more likely to die in a car crash than you are in a plane crash. However, you get in that car, you don't think about it. You just hit your normal. You know what I'm saying? Some of us got remote starters. So you remote start your car, you heat it up, you jump in it, you put it in you put it in gear. You expect for the car to work. You expect for the brakes to work. You expect for the roads to be cleaned, you know, and think about that for a second, right? Because in every step of the way, it requires for a human to perfectly do their job and be good enough to do their job and not get there just because somebody put them there. But we expect for things to just work. You expect for the aircraft to be straight, for the inspections to be good, for them to have built the plane the right way, for the people that then clean the plane to do it, for the the pilot, for them to do their job. We are so dependent on each other to be good at what we do. We have to be experts at what we do. For the person inside of the auto manufacturing plant that screwed the boat in, to the person that put your tires on, and your tread got to be all good, and the wires got to be right, and the road need to be paved the right way, and they had to put the right, the concrete mix that then paved and poured on the road, and the person that hung and organized the street lights, and you got to depend on the person if you live in a colder climate and it snows so that it's not black ice, and then if you do get in an accident, you expect first responders to be there immediately, and then you're dependent on your Apple Watch to send out a notification. We are human dependent on each other, and it's so crazy to think about because our expectation when we wake up in the morning is for everything to work. You expect for your roof to not have leaks in it. You expect for your air to come on, for your heat to come on. You expect for you to have clean water in the morning because you paid for it, right? You expect for your trash to get picked up and for all of these things to work. But all of us are depending on the best of the best of that industry and whatever your respective field is to do your job. You go to the restaurant, you expect for your meal to be good. That's why when you start throwing up and you get food poisoning and you get violently ill, you start to question things like, oh man, is something happening to me in my life? No, we depended on each other in order for us to be great. We're dependent on each other to be great. It was a woman that basically said that she had just been on that plane prior to, and I think she was a flight attendant. She said she had just got on that plane. She was just on that plane. She spoke to everybody prior to that plane taking off and then ultimately resulting in a crash. Check it out.
Now imagine just missing that flight or working on that airplane the entire day before your shift ended, and hours later, tragedy strikes. That is what one young woman from Detroit is dealing with tonight. Yeah, she's a flight attendant and worked on that same jet from city to city on Wednesday before handing the job off to the next crew, which included two of her most dear friends. She wanted to share her thoughts with Sean Lay, who's at Detroit Metro Airport tonight. Sean?
Her name is Alexis Burgess. Guys, I met her right here after she got her flight home after working that long day yesterday on that very jet going city to city. At the very end in Wichita, she said goodbye, have a safe flight to her other crew who are her dear friends, only to learn a few hours later of the absolute worst. And she's now coming home with the thought stuck in her head, of course, that could have easily been me.
I don't know whether to be grateful or to break down. I don't know whether to quit or go harder or be strong or be braver, brave for them. I don't know.
Alexis Burgess is stunned. She is in shock. If a flight attendant called in sick on the American Airlines flight from Wichita to Washington, Alexis would not be in her mother's arms here at Detroit Metro today. Burgess is a flight attendant who worked in that same plane all day Wednesday from Philly to Toronto to D.C. Her shift ended in Wichita, where she greeted the next crew, Ian Epstein and Denasia Elder. That crew lost their lives.
The last thing that I said to him was, have a safe flight, and the last thing he said to me was, have a good overnight.
Some of Burgess's personal items were still on that plane when it collided with the helicopter and went down.
I'm just in complete disbelief. I didn't even see how it looked. I didn't see the video. I didn't see anything. I just saw a small picture of it in the water, and to know that I worked on there and to see it in pieces like that. I left a water bottle in the back of 21C, and I worked the back. I worked the other flight attendant I worked with, she worked first class. I worked the back. So I'm just thinking about the things that I left on that plane, and the plane is in pieces now.
As a mom with a daughter being a flight attendant, you pray every time she boards until she lands. So this is very heart-wrenching. This is very hurtful.
If I was on reserve and one of those flight attendants got sick or had to stay, then they would have scheduled me to work the flight back to my base. Yes.
That close.
Yes, it is. So I feel.
Now, it's a blessing, but it can only be a blessing if you have an opportunity to do great things and you take advantage of it. That's my conclusion. That's what I think about it. You can't have a situation play out like that and then you let your life just be a regular life. You now have an obligation to meet an expectation and to do something greater. When you come that close to death, or you've seen so much death around you, or your colleagues or your friends is no longer going to be here, but you survived, you really only got one of two options. Either you can have survivor's remorse and you can go into your shell and your life could mean nothing, or you can look at it as a blessing and say, when I wake up today, when I wake up in the morning, every single time I get on this live stream, I say, we made it another day. It's another opportunity to do great things. Y'all become so used to it because it's just a saying, but I say it because in my mind, I'm not supposed to be here, right? There's no way I should have made it out of the hood that we were born in, right? There's no way that I'm supposed to be this successful. Your life is a 1 in a million, 1 in a billion chance of you doing something great. People before you, you know what I'm saying, that made the sacrifices for you to be here. People that died for your right to vote. People that died for your right to have freedom. People that suffered through the circumstances that eventually translated into you being here. That's not by happenstance. That is by purpose. You are one of the strongest people on this earth. And if people died amongst you, growing up in the hood, you've seen people today, they gone tomorrow. And then you just go about living your life and you just a regular everyday person and you don't give your all every single day to the best of your ability. You just leave it there. You just wake up as an accident and that's just the end of it. No, I look at it and I say, man, I have an obligation. I have an expectation to meet because I'm here for a reason. The sacrifices that your father or your mother made or the people that made you or groomed you or whatever, you can't just be regular. You got a purpose. So you could either have survivor's remorse or you could be one of those people that look at it and say, you know what? I have a greater meaning of my life. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm willing to explore it. And the one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it on the flow every day. That's what my mentality is. I hope she takes that same mentality. Again, it is a very unfortunate situation, but you're praying for all of the family, and I hope everybody turned out well. Let me read some of these super chats. We'll move over to the next part of the show. Nice for Everything says, good morning. Thank you for the energy. No Red Bull needed. We high off life, baby. Good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels and the Millionaire Morning Show. Shout out to P. Shank. I love you. AR Smitty says, they say that I'm amazing. I say no. God amazing. Shout out to you, Big Sean, quoting Big Sean. Tanisha Brown says, first super chat. Shout out to my girl, Tanisha. An amazing prayer and a great way to start the show. Keep doing the Lord's work. You are truly a blessing. I love you, Tanisha. I love you, baby, and thank you for supporting the platform. Spacer says, you almost got me pulled over with that prayer. Shout out to y'all. I told you, we prayer warriors over here. We pray from here. We pray from here, from the heart. DEI obviously had an impact. 1,000 plus qualified FAA operators were turned down by the Buttigieg and Biden because they were too white and non-female. The lawsuit has been pending since 2023. Really? I've been hearing a little bit about that. I haven't researched it. What in the World TV says, live under that flight line. And before this, I noticed a couple of planes having to make sharp turns. Thought to myself, that's a first. DEI, I believe in that control tower. High Tolerance says, good morning, AD and Associated worked in DCA. DCA is the airport that flies out of DC. Actually, they got two. They got IAD. I usually fly in IAD and DCA. As an ATC in Phoenix for 7 years. After the long hours and being under duress, he eventually pivoted. In the real estate, he said it wasn't worth the money. Wow. Me University says, ain't no regular. I appreciate you, Me University. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. Let's get into the next part of the show. Trump said he's gutting DEI hires from aviation. I think he's gutting it across the board. Let's get into it, y'all. It's a lot of discussion about DEI. Thank you, Abidan, and thank you to everybody that support the platform. I appreciate y'all. Please hit a like, and then please subscribe to the channel if you've been here more than once. Trump said he's gutting DEI hires from aviation, and I think he's pretty much trying to gut it from the workforce in general. This is why they say they want people based off of merit, not based off of who you think is identifying as such in order to get the job.
Taken in any way, shape, or form.
Wait a minute, that's the wrong one. Let me make sure I got the right video. Give me a second. Got the wrong video up there. We'll pivot one sec. Gotcha. All right, here we go. We here. Let's get it.
Go out right now inside the Oval Office. We'd
let you watch. If we could, I'd ask Will to explain the first, but really more importantly, explain the second, and we'll start signing. Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. Just 2 items for your signature today. The first is the formal commission appointing Chris Rochelot to be the Deputy Administrator of the Federal Aviation Administration.
Right.
And since the commissioner position since the administrator position is currently vacant, he will act as the administrator since he's now been appointed deputy.
And he's a very capable guy.
Extremely experienced in aviation and highly regarded in the industry and in government.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Second, for your signature, we have a presidential memorandum titled Immediate Assessment of Aviation Safety. In light of the damage done to aviation safety by the Biden administration's DEI and woke policies, what this presidential memorandum orders is for your Secretary of Transportation and FAA Administrator, in this case acting FAA Administrator, to basically ensure that we are actively undoing all of that damage, that we are assessing how much damage was done, and that we're ensuring that people hired within the FAA, in keeping with your memorandum of January 21st, are only the most outstanding, capable people for the jobs that they're being hired into.
In other words, competence.
Yes, sir. Elevating competence over everything else instead of the DEI policies that were pursued by the Biden administration.
I don't really know how you argue with that. I don't know how you argue with that. How do you argue with making sure that everything is based off of merit and that the person that's doing the job is the most competent and the best at their job? You know, I was talking to somebody, I was debating. I think I might have been debating on this show, or was it off this show? Because I did a call-in show last week where people were trying to convince me of DEI, right? And I had somebody ask me, they said, Anton, who do you pick if you have two candidates that both are the exact same and they're both qualified for the job, right? And my first answer to that is nobody, and I mean zero, two people are exactly the same. You're not going to, I've never in my life, and I don't know anybody in my life personally, that has ever come across two resumes and they were exactly the same. It just doesn't happen. It's not a thing. It's not real. It's not a real scenario, but we can evaluate it, right? My biggest thing has always been you can have two qualified candidates. You know, you get two people that come across your desk for the job. Both of them have a sufficient enough resume and background that actually justify either one of them getting hired. But why wouldn't I hire the one that is the best for the job regardless of what they look like? Don't matter if you're a man, don't matter if you're a woman, don't matter if you're white, don't matter if you're black. I don't really care. Who is the best person for the job? And I like to equate this to sports, right? You can have two people, and we all grew up where we all know who was going to get picked last on the pickup game, and we all knew who was going to get picked first. There is a clear distinction between who is the best on the court, who's middling, and who's the worst. Even if you got two really good guys on the court, you're going to pick the person unless, and this is where the DEI comes from, unless you are loyal to your homeboy based off of something that don't have nothing to do with putting the ball in the hole. If you trying to win, you're going to pick the best person. If you trying to just be cool and be friends with everybody, you're going to pick the one that you coolest with. It's the truth. Anybody that has ever hooped before, anybody that's ever played ball, your homeboy is expecting for you to pick him first unless he's objective. The guy that you came to the court with, hey man, yeah, I'm running with him. He may not be the best pick for the court. Shaq is over there standing and waiting for you to pick him. And I'm going to pick Earl Boykins over here. It's the honest to God. That is the clearest example of how I personally see DEI in my mind. If you go to the court and you playing pickup, but you came with your homeboys, right, and they all look like you, and you went into a white area, and you got this homie over there, and he tall and he big, and he over there dunking, and he hanging on the rim, and you could see him pulling up from three, and he good at what it is that he do, but you got your homeboys over there, but you pick your homeboys either way, or you trying to equalize it, or you pick that kid over there that never get picked because you feel sorry for him because he always come to the court and nobody ever gives him a chance. And so I'm going to pick that kid right there. I'm going to pick that kid right there. Now, I know I got to play my butt off. Every single shot got to go. Every shot got to go. Every shot, because, you know, you all offense now. You know defense. You all off. If you off the court because you can't stop the other team. You got to hope to be on 100% of the time. And now that little awkward kid that got two left shoes, and we all know who this kid is. He's the one that comes to the court, and he has all of the branded stuff. He has on jerseys. He might have on a headband. He might have on a wristband. He's dressed like Allen Iverson. His shoes is brand new. He has on the new Kobe's, the new Jordans, right? His shirt matches his shorts, and he's the awkward kid. He watches a lot of it on TV, but he's not really that good on the court, and he's dressed to perfection. He looks like he just came out of an NBA locker room and he's about to hit the streets, right? We all know this guy. He might even have a mouthpiece on, and it's not even a real game. We just playing pickup. You know that guy is trash, but it's the dude with the cut off sleeves. You know what I'm saying? The dude with the cut off sleeves, his hair might be one way to this way and this way to that day, and he a natural talent, and that dude is going to dunk on your monkey head, but you going to pick that guy over there because you feel sorry for him, and he always at the court, and he's a nice guy, but you're not going to win with him. That is the equivalent for me what DEI looks like. See, we got a way of breaking it down here on the Millionaire Morning Show from a C student's perspective to where people see, because we hear all of these policies and DEI and we like to get all technical. Yes, and DEI is not about hiring. It's about finding the best candidates that may not be available, that may not be in your purview. We have to make more of an effort to do. No, DEI is going on a basketball court and seeing that stupid kid that you know is no good, and you're going to have to sit out the next 3 games because everybody is out there waiting on next. So you can give them a chance if it's only 10 of y'all and it's 5-on-5. But when you got 25 people and 4 teams waiting and everybody got next, I can't risk it, dog. I'm not trying to get off the court right now. I'm going with baby Shaq over there. That is the equivalent of what DEI is. I don't want to sit waiting for the next 5 games. I might as well go home. I drove all the way out here to hoop. The course is full. So you know what you do? And every guy that been there, you do one or two things. This is what you do. You pick baby Shaq, and then you say, hey, you got next, right? Yeah, because I thought I was going to get you next. Yeah, oh no, he got next. So you up next, right? Okay, cool, because I wanted to make sure that we was all good. I wanted to make sure you good. You either do that, you hit him with one of them, or you hit him with, oh, dog, I didn't even know you was running. I thought that you was on the other team. Oh, my bad, bro. Yeah, we already got our squad. We already got our 5. Yeah, we next. We already got our 5. All right. I got you. That's what DEI is. DEI is force feeding me this guy that I don't want on my team, that's not good enough against the competing team. That's DEI. Everybody in the chat know what I'm talking about. Everybody in the chat know what I'm talking about. Y'all can get mad at Trump if you want to. Think about when you was playing ball and see how that played out for you. You didn't like the fact that you had to sit on the sidelines. In this case, we got a bunch of incompetent people that feel like they need a position just because they sassy, ashy, and ain't got no class in them. That's the truth. That's what DEI is to me.
I think everyone understands that. And Obama.
Yes.
Both of them. Okay, but Biden much worse. Not even a contest. What they've done is just crazy in so many other ways. Okay?
Mr. President, to be clear, are you saying race or gender played a role in this tragedy?
It may have. I don't know. Incompetence might have played a role. We'll let you know that. But we want the most competent people. We don't care what race they are. We want the most competent people, especially in those positions. And, you're talking about extremely complex things. And if they don't have a great brain, a great power of the brain, they're not going to be very good at what they do, and bad things will happen.
Mr. President,
All right, so why y'all lying on Trump? Why y'all try to lie and say that Trump blamed this aviation? And I seen some people in my own chat say it. Y'all tried to see, this is why misinformation is bad. This is why I don't listen to y'all. I go to the source, I listen to what he said myself, and then I make my own conclusion. He did not blame DEI. He did not blame income. He didn't blame anybody for the crash. What he said was, we are going to make sure going forward, regardless of what the investigation says and who was flying it, don't care what race you are, we want the most competent person for the job. If you are the best person for the job, that's the job that you should have. We don't want to risk it. We can't be putting people's lives on the line for your diversity, equity, and inclusion. He did a preventative move to make sure going forward, every single person that gets hired for these positions that put human lives at risk are going to be the best person for the job, not based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this is why I don't listen to the internet. This is why I don't listen to the internet. He never blamed anybody. He never said that's what it was. He said it may have, it may not. I don't know. We gonna find out. But going forward, this is the preventative thing that we're going to do. We're going to make sure the best person for the job is the person that get the job, not based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So what are y'all talking about? Eric, where did he blame DEI? Let's go into it. Let me look at it again.
We want the most competent. Much worse. Okay?
Mr. President, to be clear, are you saying race or gender played a role in this tragedy?
It may have. I don't know. Incompetence might have played a role.
It may have. I don't know. Incompetence might have played a role also.
We'll let you know that. But we want the most competent people. We don't care what race they are. We
want the most competent people. We don't care what race there are. Am I missing something? Did I hear something different than what y'all heard?
The most competent people, especially in those positions. And, you're talking about extremely complex things. And if they don't have a great brain, a great power of the brain, they're not going to be very good at what they do, and bad things will happen.
Mr. President, there's been concerns about the amount of congestion out of D.C. airport. Do you think that there's too many flights coming out of that airport?
No, I think we need very smart people running the flights and doing it. You know, the ones that aren't good, when they'll either do one of two things. They'll have too many coming in and they can't handle it, or they'll have the people waiting up in the air, which everyone's been caught in that situation, and circling the airports for an hour, and that's no good either.
I seen the press conference. I didn't see him blame the actual accident on DEI. He acknowledged that DEI played a huge role in the previous administration's picks for important jobs that people are doing. I didn't hear that part. Maybe I missed it. I'm open to the possibility of being wrong. I didn't hear that part. When I see him sign this executive order right now, and he's saying, listen, it may have, it may not. We don't know. We're going to let you know. But what we are going to do is we're going to make sure that we have the best people for the positions right here, right now. So that is what I'm hearing specifically. Y'all, listen, you know what I know? People that don't like Trump is not going to like Trump no matter what. People that don't like Trump no matter what.
The military helicopter training flights that are flying around National Airport all the time, what's your view? Should they be rolled back?
It's fine if they're in the right locations and if they're not at the same levels. I mean, if a plane coming in is at 300 feet or 400 feet. And
Look at B. Jackson. I voted for this dude, and he gets an F for handling this. How did he handle it? He didn't crash a plane. He didn't do anything except for he going to meet with the family and the victims. And he made sure that he signed an executive order within 11 days in office that he don't want no DEI hires. He want to make sure they're the most competent person for the job. What do y'all want? Y'all want somebody to pity pat y'all, to baby y'all? What exactly do you want them to do to handle it differently? You want them to make you feel good? You want them to change your diaper? Oh my God. You want me to make you feel your panky, your hanky? You want a tear? Cry you a river? Huh? What do y'all want? What do you want, man? You want somebody to make you feel good about your diversity, equity, and inclusion decision? Grow up. Grow up. We don't believe that you voted for him anyway. Everybody all in their emotions and their feelings. Dude in a job 11 days did more in 11 days than Biden did in the last 4 years, and you sitting there and whining, I don't like the way you're handling it. Y'all so weak. I hate when grown men turn into little girls. Grow up. Grow a set of balls, bro. Even if you lose one, you got another ball. I don't like it. Acknowledge black people. Good God. Y'all sound just like little girls.
Helicopters training at 300 or 400 feet. Why wouldn't they be?
You want them to swim in the water and go and find it itself? Oh, wait in the water. You want them to go swim in the water too? What else you want them to do? You want them to put on a naval captain gear and go out there on a boat himself? What you want him to do? What do you want? What do you want? He's everywhere all at the same time. Stopping wars, making sure that executive orders is getting executed, doing audits, up at 1 a.m. What you want him to do? Huh? You wouldn't fall. Where was Biden at? Where is Biden at? Where are your leaders? Where are any of these people on the Democratic side? Do you have any expectation for Democrats at all? Good God.
Yep. 500 feet higher.
I don't like that.
So I certainly want, and that to a certain extent is the air traffic controller. Wait, please, wait just a second.
You feel like what happened last night was preventable?
I do, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And obviously, that was something that should not have happened. And we're not going to let it happen again. Yes, please.
Gigi says, stop blaming minorities. That's what I want. Please don't let me start going in on minorities. The fact that you even label yourself a minority shows how ignorant of the comment that you are. It shows how stupid we think. You label yourself as less than. You look at yourself as less than. You look at yourself as a DEI hire. Why should I not acknowledge you as one? But you know, I'm a minor. I hate running into black people that say stuff like that. But you know, we not supposed to be here. You not supposed to be here because you don't deserve to be here. I'm supposed to be here. I'm the richest dude in the building. I own the building. You know, we's minorities. I don't want him to blame minorities. You a minority. You not supposed to be here. I'm here to buy the building. And I'm not hiring you. Get out of here. Y'all talk like hiding slaves. You talk like a hiding slave. You knows they gonna know we's nods in here. You talk like a hiding slave. That's what y'all talk like. Keep labeling yourself. Oh, you know, because I'm a woman-owned business, so it's harder for me. No, you just stupid and you don't know how to run a business. So we not shopping at your shop because it's bold and it's dusty and I know all of your stuff came from Amazon. It ain't because you a woman-owned business. It's because your business is bold. You know they don't want us in here. No, it's because you smell like weed, dog. That's why they don't want you in here and your hair looks stupid. You know, we a double minority. It's a system that's set up against us. No, dog, it's because you didn't go to college and you said that it was a scam. And when you did go, you took African-American studies instead of actually studying something that would be adequate for your kids. You made yourself a minority. Nobody is looking at you. Nobody look at Asians and say, you know, they a minority, but they the highest earning group inside of the United States of America. How come they not victims and they smaller of a population than we are? Why aren't there people that is a smaller part of the population much more victimized because they are more minority than you? So broke. You got a broke mentality. I hate dusty women. You know what's worse than a dusty man? A dusty woman. Have y'all ever seen one of them type of women that always feel sorry for themselves? You know, because I don't know, because ain't nobody gonna want me. You got dog right, I don't want you. Get out of my face. So tired of you being a victim. Can't stand dusty women. That's always minority mindset. You know, they don't want us to uncrimp our hair. Keep using black soap every day. Don't nobody want to smell you. You stink. Our nostrils are acclimated to American ways. You smell like dust. You smell like wokeness. Y'all know what? You smell earthy. Keep on showing up talking about because deodorant is bad for your skin. Well, go get some deodorant without no aluminum in there because you musty. Do you know what musty smells like? You didn't wash your hair talking about I'm earthy. No, you dirty. I can just about imagine what that cootie cat smell like. You know, I don't use deodorant because they got chemicals in it. Well, baby, lemon ain't working for you. Whatever you squeezing under them hairy arms that you got, it ain't working for you. I'm vegan. But you eat everything that's in here that's vegan. So it don't work for you. I identify as Caesar Shem. Oh, so you Dwayne Wade's son. Okay, you hang out with Magic Johnson's son. All right, I got you. Anyways, don't let me get started. Listen, look, I got my femininity light on. I got the pink on. What more you want from me? Let's continue to move on. Keep on lying to y'all. Keep on lying to y'all, telling y'all that y'all opportunity doesn't succeed for you. Look at this. Look at this nonsense. You know what? On Monday, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to have a camera pointing that way just so y'all can see the security guard. And this is the perfect time to emphasize this. The security guard is going to take a nap again. I see him going into the closet. The security guard don't even have his security uniform today on, and he's going into the closet to go and take a nap. I'm looking at him Walk into the closet to take a nap. You know, whenever we telling on somebody, we got to put our whisper voice on, even though we still talking at the same decibel. The security guard right now is walking into the closet. He's a DEI hire. He's walking into the closet to take a nap. I'm looking at him. He looking at me. I'm looking at him. He looking at me, and I'm looking at him. And he trying to figure out if he should still go into that closet, and he going. That's crazy. That's crazy. He just went for it. He said, I'm sleepy on a Friday. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Did we not pray this morning? Were we not thankful to God? This nigga got a space heater in on the floor in the closet. I went in there and checked. Shout out to Mike. Y'all not gonna get me to support y'all in y'all DEI. Appreciate the work you putting in, brother. Shout out to Avidon Smith. I appreciate you. Billy Ray Valentine. Are y'all not subscribed to the channel? Have y'all not sent this to y'all family and friends yet? Billy Ray Valentine says, happy Friday, 80 Stock Club was fire. Shout out to the Bag Chasers. If y'all want to tap into the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Seeking Truth says, good morning. First super chat. New Bag Chaser, don't miss a show, and teaching has been transformational, running it up in 2025. We got a lot of new chasers this year already. V. Nicole says, if you're not a bag chaser, what are you doing? The knowledge you get is priceless. Nurses love, Anton love nurses. Anton love my nurses. I love my nurses. Trey's Cultural Lens says, Anton, I love the show, bro. And the Patreon videos are awesome. Do you have any advice for someone looking to start a YouTube channel? I'd really appreciate any tips and words of wisdom. I actually got a video that's dropping this weekend. I might do it as a live stream, but I got a video dropping this weekend, and I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks of everything YouTube related, okay? I'm actually going to show y'all what it is that I earned last year on YouTube, what I earned on all of my other platforms, how I break it down, how I monetize the equipment that I use, all of that. But you just got to get started, and you got to be consistent just to get started, and then I'll go into all of the details on Patreon. Mr. Lot says, pickup always came down to the fat kid or the little hands Jimmy. Devon Gibson says, I'm a man that has made it through the inner city and the prison system to change my life entirely towards God and the best version of myself. Anton, you've changed my life. Your value is unmatched. New Chaser, much love. Shout out to the Chasers. Thank you, Mr. Gibson. I appreciate you. You got to call him Mr. Gibson when they talking like that. Nigel says, masterful analogy on DEI, keep cooking. God is trying to tell us something. Trey Niner says, we see the play use DEI for every failure in American history. No evidence proved that this crash was due to DEI. DEI does not mean that the person is less qualified, merit-based. All elite schools will be 90% Asian, but it's not. I see you. That's why your team is not in the Super Bowl. Didn't even make the playoffs this year. Left-wing media love putting words in people's mouths. Facts. Mr. Lot came through, says, what you cooking, bro? Why wouldn't a person want to be the best pick? Engineering taught me a long time ago that incompetence will get you cooked, and DEI has always been looked at sideways. People need to step their game up. If you're not getting picked, step your game up. Talk to him, Mr. Lot. God bless you, my brother, says Hakeem Glass. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Chris Cunningham is in the building, says, I'm tired of black people playing victim. If you are incompetent, you're incompetent. Embrace it. This is your way to sharpen your skills. The victim mentality is weird to me. That's because we competitors. The Sun says, Chad is missing the point. If Trump blames DEI on one press conference and then is more careful with his words in the next, he deserved the benefit of the doubt. You can't pick and choose when to listen. Come on, man. Okay. Jerome Gray says, at the press conference, him and the rest of them tried to blame DEI. They tried to blame or they blamed him? Tell me the truth. Country Boy Finesse. What up, though? I appreciate you. Brandon Nicholson is in the building, says, they be the same way on my Facebook crying all the time. That's because you got to get off Facebook. I don't even look at them funky things on Facebook. Danger Room Podcast, hosted by Beastly Nerd, says, to your point, in high school, I used to skip football once or twice a week and still got to keep my starting position on an offensive line because I was the best at my position, and backup didn't get any real playing time. That's a fact. Talk your talk, big dog. Country Boy Finesse says, didn't Biden tell farmers to kill 100 million chickens? I don't know. I ain't heard that. Ms. G16. What up, Ms. G16 says, now you see why a lot of us are single. Men and women, Anton, the thought processes are out of line. Comprehension skills are at an all-time low, and it's sad. I feel you. Thank God I'm not in the dating pool. No sane person is blaming Trump for the crash, Anton. Okay, I got you. Jay Hunter Lee in the building says, playing victim gives the amateur an excuse for losing, but you losing nonetheless. Told y'all the security was a basic. High Tolerance says, too many people have skated by off doing the bare bones minimum and is coming back to bite them in the people. Attention is everywhere else, but on their jobs, 47 is putting them on notice. You're going to have to show up. Danger Room Podcast hosted by BC Nerd says, apologies, I meant skip football. I know what you meant, big dog. I appreciate you for holding us down. CEO First says, DEI is basically, it looks good to you, but it isn't good for you. Tia Marie 2 in the building says, seems like people want to prez with sensitivity, meaning Donald J. Tresvant, separating feelings from the person is skill most don't have. Team Earthy. All right, I like you. I like my Earthy lady. Earthy ladies, they good. They don't worry about it. I ain't gonna talk about it on here. That's an after hours talk. Just tune in to after hours tonight. Shout out to my girl Night J says, I got the flu. Stop trying to kill me. I give y'all comedy every day. Dog, I'm trying to work. You got me cracking up over here. That's cuz, Courtney. They be out here running in the Victim Olympics. Shell Shock says, you got me dying in this office, but you ain't lying at all. Salute to everyone. They want a sassy president. Conceptual says, peace, King. A long-time listener. I love the content. Thank you for holding me down, big dog. And the ENT Shop says, the Standard of Truth podcast says, black people don't know how to operate in their freedom, and that's why they are so comfortable in their victimhood. Talk to them. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I will tell y'all, thank you, Mr. Hunter. I'm going to read that shortly. I will tell y'all that I am always going to acknowledge every single super chat because you didn't have to send it. So I need to read it to let you know that I appreciate you. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Detroit basketball. Before we get into ICE starting to prepare themselves to come to Detroit and raid and get all of the illegal migrants from out of my city also, I want to first tackle this whole situation. Man dropped his kid off of school, and then ICE came and picked him up right after that. Check it out.
I'm told the man taken into custody by immigration agents had just dropped off his child at school this morning. And Alderman Michael Rodriguez tells me that this entire community here in Little Village is on high alert.
It created a lot of fear in the morning, and we were rapidly responding to it.
Video from someone who did not want to be identified shows a man being detained by ICE agents near 32nd and Kedzie. Alderman Michael Rodriguez says this is the first detainment he knows of in Little Village.
The Colombian government just reported that of the 200 people that were deported, none were criminals and 2 were pregnant women. Now we have a detainee whose child was just dropped off at school.
Wait a minute. If there was pregnant women, that means we got to get them out of here ASAP because we don't want them having kids here on American soil and then saying that I'm a birthright citizen. I'm a birthright citizen. If you pregnant, I think that they need to make sure that they keep you and your family together as they put y'all on a cargo plane and head back to Guatemala. Because you can't be over here getting pregnant on purpose, having children out of wedlock, making sure that your kid is a birthright citizen so that they can have dual citizenship from where they from and where they at. Get them. Get them. Get them. Get them, gorilla. Get them. If you over here illegally, it's time to pay the piper. Anton, you don't have no sympathy. Oh my God, you don't have no sympathy for the ladies. I love my ladies. Plenty of my baby mamas is in the chat. You want to know who they are? I tell y'all who they are every single day. They don't need to get any more visibility because every single time I say that one of these women in the chat is one of my baby mamas, and you don't have to have a kid by me in order to be my baby mama. Every single time I say one of these women in the chat is my baby mama, I see y'all out here trying to shoot y'all shot. Hey. You really Anton's baby mama? Y'all keep sending these DMs to these women every single time I identify one of them as my baby mama. Say it ain't true, queen. Ha. You really rock with Anton or no? I see you. Let me know if you really about that life. Stop sending the DMs to the ladies. Just because they my baby mama don't mean that you got to make them a target. Leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Right after that fact, being detained.
This comes after President Trump ramps up his mass deportation efforts, demanding at least 1,800 arrests per day across the country. Those like Baltzar Enriquez says he has been handing out information cards in order to help fearful families feel more prepared.
Some families have opted out from sending their kids to school, and that's taking the children's right to an education.
Rodriguez says he is unaware if the man detained had a criminal record, but his rapid response team is ready to support anyone in need.
People are resilient. We want to make sure folks know their rights. That's a blanket of coverage and care that people will desperately need right now.
ICE agents have said that this surge in operations has led to more than 3,000 arrests nationwide. Alderman Michael Rodriguez says families can call the immigration hotline or his office directly.
Ain't that amazing? Regular citizens, hey, y'all can't call for no help. You get stopped by the police, you on your own. Hopefully they got their body cams on. But if you're an illegal migrant and you just so happen to, okay, so wait a minute. So you saying that you could drop your kid off of school. As long as you're dropping your kid off of school, you shouldn't get arrested and deported, right? Don't worry, we'll wait till little Manuel and Jesus get out of school before we pick them up too. We want to keep the family together. But in addition to that, ICE agents are ramping up to hit Detroit and Metro Detroit to come and make sure that they get everybody that ain't supposed to be here illegally.
Tonight on The Edge, more agents from Immigration and Customs Enforcement expected in Metro Detroit.
ICE is now pulling agents from other federal agencies as it aims to
Shout out
round
to
up
Tiffany, still
undocumented immigrants.
Listening. I love you,
Fox
Tiffany,
2 Jessica Dubneck joining us live now with the latest on this push by President Trump's administration. And Jessica, we knew here it was just a matter of time before things picked up.
That's right. We've been watching it all week, all around the country. Sources telling me tonight that similar activity by ICE, that surge that we've been talking about, will start in Detroit and the suburbs very soon. We're talking the next couple of weeks, and they're actually recruiting other federal agents because of the influx in activity.
Clearly, it's very progressive. We haven't seen something like this, I don't think, ever.
The nationwide immigration sweep targeting undocumented, specifically wanted criminals means ICE is pulling federal agents from the FBI, DEA, and ATF, a historic move.
We're plus 9 days from inauguration, and here we are starting this.
Paul Vanderplow is a recently retired special agent in charge with the Detroit Field Division of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, or ATF. He's weighing in on this surge set to start very soon here in Detroit and in the suburbs.
When they do start here, I expect to see federal agencies through the neighborhoods, and I fully expect them to treat the individuals with respect, dignity, and get through the process the way they have.
Any regrets? Just like that. You see that cargo plane? That's the respect that you get. Listen, you're going to get this hard seat, no mineral water, no bottled water, water fountains on your way into the plane, hands, feet together, children together with their parents. Make sure that y'all all together. What country you going to? We're going to treat you with dignity, but we're going to do it really fast, all right? Okay? Anybody else in the house that we need to get up out of here? Don't worry, we'll be back.
Coming into the United States illegally?
It'll play out like we've seen this week in Boston, near Houston, and in Colorado. The majority of those arrested in these raids wanted gang members or wanted for other major crimes.
They're not going to settle for some case where it's just documentation. They're going after killers.
There's a lot at risk for these folks. They're potentially getting sent back to their home country. Right. How does that increase the danger in these situations?
When you don't want to go and you have that much incentive to not go, then the fight or flight equation comes more to fight.
While the borrowed federal agents will receive some training from ICE, ultimate decisions on immigration status or similar will defer to ICE agents.
Frankly, I'll be honest, I want these bad actors out of here just like everybody else.
Biggest takeaway from this story there, sources and, of course, Paul Vanderplough, the former head of the ATF here in Detroit, is that this first round of activity by ICE and those other federal agents will focus on the high-value criminals, those that are wanted not only...
That's what I'm talking about. Just like you had high-value men, you got high-value criminals.
Here in the metro area, but really around the world. But as far as what happens next after all of those folks are in custody, it's still unclear. We'll have to stay tuned. Reporting live, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
Somebody said that they're going to go into a Mexican restaurant and ask for extra ice just to get a reaction. You're going to get some spit in your tacos. You know what? I'm going to Mexican Town. I do want to go check out Mexican Town today, see what the sentiment is. I do. See what it is. I listen. My city ain't perfect. We've been making strides and we've been progressive on the financial front from a long time, but we got some growing to do. We got some things to fix, and it is some people in here that's not supposed to be here. I will admit. Let me read some of the super chats, and we're going to go from there. Shout out to Mr. Hunter. I appreciate you. Says you gave me a thumbs up with the super sticker. Thank you, my friend. Cynthia Haynes is in the building. Shout out to Cynthia. Says, hey, Anton, thank you for sharing your knowledge and shining a light on DEI at one. I was almost a DEI hire instead of the black man who was really qualified for the position. I refused. Look at you. You're such a good person. Shout out to my girl, Sin. Kenneth. Shout out to Kenneth Malone. Kenneth Malone says, good morning, Anton. Love your show. On another note, don't Illinois' governor look like the boss hog from the Dukes of Hazzard? We need to talk about him. I'm going to talk about him. No excuse, Rocky Lifestyle Cage. A Lifestyle Rocky Cage says, what up, AD? Can't take a black person seriously who loves the victim. Gymnastics. DEI to me is like being forced to pick a QB that's horrible instead of a QB that's a good fit to win. Salute to you. I see. You get it. Let them cook, says CEO First. Shout out to CEO First. Mr. Lott in the building says, Cinco de Mayo about to look real different in the South. Yeah, it is. That's crazy. I'm going to Cinco de Mayo. ICE gonna hit Southwest Detroit and Hamtramck hard. Nas, shout out to Nas 4393 says, thanks, appreciate your work ethic. I work 2 jobs and I'm finishing AWS developer training. Any advice if I want to build a creative business like filmmaking or fashion over the next 5 years? Don't do anything fashion related over the next 5 years. It's not a thing. I would put all of my energy into the thing that make money. That's what I would do. I will put all of my energy into the thing that make money. Mari says, back in the days, the plants were raided by ICE often. If you committed a crime, you were deported. Liberal fake outrage. I like that, Mari. Malik Kweli says, at least he's not making him walk home. Tone is the one that says he about to go to a Mexican restaurant and ask for some extra ice. You a mad man. Oh, the lies the Democrats spew. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for holding me down. Thank you for tapping in. Let's continue on with the show. RFK got into a little bit of a spat with Burn. Feel the burn. Remember when Bernie Sanders was running for president of the United States of America, y'all? Y'all remember that? I do, because I got into a little bit of a heated debate with somebody that said that they'd rather have Bernie Sanders for president of the United States of America. I couldn't believe it. Not this super left liberal. Well, RFK got into a little bit of a heated kerfuffle with Bernie Sanders based off of the fact that Bernie Sanders was trying to accuse him of operating not above board. And RFK called him on his bluff. Check it out.
Let me just say this in conclusion, Chairman Cassidy.
Look how old this guy looks. Look. How much money do you need? Before we get into Feel the Burn and RFK Jr., how much is enough? How much is enough? How long can you get money from the federal government before you say, you know what? Y'all keep telling me that I need to take days off. Tell Bernie Sanders, tell Elizabeth Warren, tell Nancy Pelosi, tell all of these senators and these old geezers to retire first before you ever tell me to take a vacation, bro. Why are they still in Congress? Why don't we have term limits on public service in Congress? Let's focus.
President Trump and Mr. Kennedy are quite right when they say that our system is broken. They're right. Our economic system today is broken. 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half of American society. Wages have been stagnant for American workers for 50 years. The economy is broken. You know what? Our political system is broken and corrupt. You have a handful of billionaires in both political parties who contribute huge amounts of money to elect candidates in this room throughout the United States Congress. That is a broken political system and a real threat to democracy. Our healthcare system is broken.
Why are you talking
it's
so
broken
loud?
for some of the reasons that Mr. Kennedy indicated. We have not paid attention to the fact that we have massive amounts of chronic disease. We have not answered the question why in the richest country in the history of the world, our life expectancy is lower than it is in countries far poorer than we are. So I think in many ways, President Trump and Mr. Kennedy have asked some of the right questions. Problem is their answers will only make a bad situation worse. So let me ask Mr. Kennedy again. If we want to make America healthy, will you assure the American people that you will fight to do what every other major country on earth does, guarantee health care to every single American?
Have y'all seen what's going on in Canada today? Have y'all seen what's going on in Canada? The United States is basically trying to create Canada too. Have y'all seen what's going on with Canada and Canada's healthcare system? Because number one, I didn't even know that RFK Jr. was the one to create a healthcare for all type of situation. I thought that was up to the people in Congress. Does Bernie not know what his job is, and does he not know what RFK Jr. was appointed to do? Is he not aware of what his job is? No, he's not. Canada's healthcare system is broken. It is absolutely broken. I don't know if y'all familiar with Canada's healthcare system. I'm going to have to start pulling that up. Let me show y'all what's going on in Canada. Give me a second. I'm going to pull it up for y'all. Because some people may not be familiar. I know a lot of people think that Canada's healthcare system, y'all keep saying that y'all going to move. Y'all haven't moved yet. Let me show you what's happening in Canada. This video was recorded 2 weeks ago just for the sake of conversation, all right?
I'm going to give you a hug now or later. Thank you.
After hours in a line that snaked around Walkerton's Legion Hall and down surrounding streets, Susan Marshall is cold.
I'm sorry, but I'm frozen. My lips are frozen right now.
But the payoff is huge. After 5 years, she will finally have a family doctor. Walkerton is getting a new physician. 500 patients will get a spot. No triage, though, just first come, first served.
I actually saw this post on Facebook, of all places. And I thought with today's weather that it definitely, there wouldn't be so many folks.
It says that there's a problem if there's this many people willing to come out in a snowstorm to try and get a doctor.
Since the early morning hours, more than 1,000 people came to line up here in the cold, in the snow, all desperate, all with stories of what life has been like without a family doctor.
My husband, he has fairly serious health issues, and many times I feel like I'm not able to cope.
They overpaid Canada has some of the highest taxes that you will ever experience in your entire life. And they overpay in taxes for a healthcare for all system that does not work, is broken, and is being finessed by the Canadian government while at the same time not providing adequate healthcare for the people. They have to wait 5 years just to get a family doctor. So for all of y'all that absolutely have to get this because you think that it's going to make sense and this is what they do in Canada, this is what they've experienced. They getting taxed out of their eyeballs. They getting destroyed. And they are inadequate when it comes to health care for the people that's paying into the tax system.
Most end up in the ER or simply go untreated.
I just absolutely wait it out until I absolutely have to go to the hospital.
There is similar desperation in many parts of the country. More than 6 million Canadians don't have a family doctor.
We're seeing a Hunger Games all across Ontario.
It's unsustainable, says the president of the Ontario Medical Association.
What happens when you can't find a family doctor? You end up using the emergency department for care. You end up missing cancer, another important preventive care.
Now, in Walkerton, some just got a much-needed lifeline.
We've had 5 years now without a doctor, so it feels like we won the lottery.
A lot of people like to criticize the American system, but a lot of people don't understand the American system. But since they're so critical of it because you think that other countries can do it better, I think that you should move. You should pay 60% taxes in Canada and give 60% of everything that you make over to the Canadian government and wait 5 years for the potential of getting a family doctor that will open up in your area immediately. Y'all hate this. Y'all hate America so bad, but y'all don't want to go nowhere. And it's a reason for that. So while Feel the Burn over here is asking dumb questions like,
does the America we want to? So let me ask Mr. Kennedy again. If we want to make America healthy, will you assure the American people that you will fight to do what every other major country on earth does, guarantee health care to every single American?
Like Canada, right? Our neighbors to the north.
I'm going to make America healthier than other countries in the world right now.
Will you guarantee do what every other major country does? That's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies, it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh. And this is why you need somebody like Trump to come into office and to appoint people in there to call them to their faces and call the kettle black like they trying to call a pot. RFK is not compromised by the system, and he will 100% hold these people feet to the fire and call them for what they are. Shout out to RFK for having the balls to call Bernie Sanders out on his BS, because all of the members of Congress was taking donations on an individual basis, some of them from SPACs, but definitely individually taking donations from Big Pharma. Compromise while they over here grandstanding for y'all like they really for y'all. Get out of here, bro.
Oh, no,
and protecting their interests.
Oh, I thought that would come. No. I ran for president like you. I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
because I had
receiver of pharmaceutical money.
No. Don't overtalk us now, Bernie. We got the documents.
From workers all over this country. Workers,
you were the
not a nickel from corporate
Bernie,
tax.
you were the single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in the industry.
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of...
So, when y'all sitting here thinking that these Democrats is in your favor, I need y'all to go ahead and get off the Democrat plantation immediately. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to wake up. And I'm not saying that there aren't corrupt Republicans. I'm not saying that the same system don't benefit some Republicans also. But I am telling you that it's much worse on a Democrat plantation because they lying to y'all face and they acting like they not a part of the same system that their Republican counterparts are also benefiting from, except for they just going to act like they not a part of it. Come on, man. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Let me read a few of these super chats and then we're going to get it rocking. Jermel Cleveland says, just wanted to say shout out to you, big bro. I'm off today so I can watch live and your constant growth is nothing short of inspiring. Keep up the hard work. Thank you, Jamal. I appreciate you, bro. Or Jermel. I'm sorry. I didn't want to butcher your name. Let me call you Mr. Cleveland. Shout out to Mr. Cleveland. My girl, you're not going to be putting on that black dress and thinking that I'm not paying attention. Listen, I prayed today, but I'm still a man. And you can cook. Kicking it with a chef. You know you got them curves. You know you got them curves. Listen, we 40 plus now. I'm 40 plus. I like food. And I like black dresses. Anton, I'm so much better at my boss's job than she is. And she's friends with the higher up. They won't replace her even though she does a terrible job. Where you from? I might need to play. I've been looking for a private chef lately. No cap. I've been looking for a private chef. Real talk. I'll need somebody to cook for me personally. No meal prep in real time. I can't even read the super chat. I'm too busy focused on the picture. They don't like for me to tell. Okay, let me go ahead and stop looking. Skip it. Let me stop. So what, y'all don't eat? Y'all don't need no private chef to say kicking it with a chef? Obviously, she can cook. She know her seasonings. I said that last year, didn't I, Sabrina? I like food just like everybody else. You know what? Let me say this. You know why these guys are so concerned about whether or not I'm married? They so concerned about where I put my peen inside of. You know why they so concerned? Because they trying to hoard all of the women for themselves. I don't want y'all women. I don't want y'all women. I get what I want. I could take whatever I want, I could have. Whether you with her or not, she coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming. I'm back where I belong. I never felt so strong and I don't want your girl, man. You can have her back. You can have her back. I'm not tripping off of that. Take your girl, bro. They so worried. Go do what Molly say. Go touch grass. Go touch grass. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even that deep. How do you send me videos to comment on? Somebody drop that email inside of the chat, please. It's a good show. It's good content. Let me continue on with the show. Shout out to New Age Creator. New Age Creator says, don't do it. Right now, Canadians want a private option. See, the Canadians is trying to be like the Americans. The Americans, the liberals at least, is trying to be like the Canadians. Chris Cunningham says, Bernie, lower your tone and strengthen your argument. Talk about it. I like that. My dog, shout out to my dog, Ray Sean. Glitz and glamour aside, becoming rich feels mandatory. I pray for people. Me too, Ray. Thank you for holding me down, one of my greatest students of all time. Don't call your baby mama. Her DMs will explode from all of the thirsty dudes out here. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. People be acting out. I don't want your girl. How much time we got left? Oh, we got a little bit of time. We got some time. We on an hour and a half in. Because I promise y'all I'm going to do at least a 2-hour show every day. Tulsi and Patel. Tulsi and Patel, they had a little bit of a heated exchange with the Senate. Also, check it out. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
Mr. Patel, early in this hearing, Senator Durbin asked you about the January 6th choir of inmates whose song you promoted, and here's what you said. I did not have anything to do with the recording. I did not have anything to do with the recording. Do you stand by that testimony, Mr. Patel?
Senator, what I said was I didn't do the recording.
You said you didn't have anything to do with the recording, which is interesting because here's what you told Steve Bannon on his podcast. So what we thought would be...
Senators love to find some podcasts, don't they? I didn't know that they listen to podcasts the way that they said they do.
Cool as if we captured that audio and then, of course, had the greatest president, President Donald J. Trump, recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Then we went to a studio and recorded it, mastered it, digitized it, and put it out as a song now releasing exclusively on the War Room. We. If you had nothing to do with it, Mr. Patel, why did you tell Steve Bannon and all his listeners that you did?
That's why it says we, as you highlighted.
Yeah, and you're part of the we, right? When you say we, that includes you, doesn't it, Mr. Patel?
Not in every instance.
Well, that's new. So when you said we, you didn't really mean you. Is that your testimony?
Not unless you have a new definition for the word we.
Oh, okay. I always thought we included the person who pronounced the word, but maybe not. Well, you also said this, Mr. Patel. We were able to capture the recording thanks to their courageous singing, and we were able to take it to a studio. So let me ask you, Mr. Patel, after saying we took it to a studio, did you take it to a studio?
Me personally, no.
After you said that we digitized and recorded it and all that, did you take it to a studio and digitize and record it?
Me personally, no.
Okay, so you were lying to Steve Bannon and his audience. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was using the proverbial we appropriately, as you've identified.
The royal we. Oh, I see. And so you certainly promoted the hell out of it, though, didn't you?
I don't know what that means, but I promoted the heck out of raising money for families in need.
With promotions on social media and saying you were going to get this to #1 on the billboards, right, Mr. Patel?
I think it did.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Isn't that great? People who violently attack police have a #1 song thanks to you, Mr. Patel. That's something to be really proud of. Now, you've claimed, Mr. Patel, you didn't know about any of these people in the choir. Is that right?
I did not know about the violent offenders, and I did not participate in any of the violence in and around January 6th.
Tell me, Mr. Patel, what due diligence did you do to find out who was in the choir before you promoted their beautiful music? These people who assaulted law enforcement, what due diligence did you do?
Senator, I didn't record it myself.
So you did no due diligence before you promoted this song by these violent felons. Is that what you're telling us?
Senator, I did not record that myself.
So you're being considered for director of the FBI. And here you did no diligence to find out whether people you were associating with now the President of the United States in song were convicted of attacking police officers. Is that who we want running the FBI? I want you to turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. Who are you talking to? See, that's the situation where you then have to start having a conversation with people and you start to say things a little different and get a little out of hand. That's when you have to start helping them understand. Who you talking to, dog? I hate when people start talking to you like you're a child. And you still have to remain professional. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to turn this into a Thornton Township, Tiffany Henyard scrap off inside of the Senate. However, listen, dog, don't. Who you talking? Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Listen, dog, I'm about to be the director of the FBI. I'm the last person you want to talk to like that. I'm the last person that you ever want to talk to and have this type of sentiment and demeanor towards. You don't want to do that, dog. Don't talk to me like I'm a child. All right?
No, look at them. I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye.
No, don't change it up now.
And tell them
you was tough at first. You said it the tough way.
Turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at them.
I'm not your wife, dog. I'm looking at you. And he handled it beautifully. He said, nah, I'm looking at you.
I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. Tell them you're proud of what you did, Mr. Patel. They're right there. They're guarding you today. Tell them how proud you are.
That's an abject lie, and you know it. I've never, ever accepted violence against law enforcement. I've worked with these men and women, as you know,
you
my entire
glorified
life,
it in song,
and I did
Mr.
not
Patel.
make a single dime out of
In
it.
song. Well, let me.
How about you ask them if I have their backs, and let's see about that answer.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Patel. Let me ask you this. If an FBI director promoted a song of people who sprayed pepper spray in the face of an FBI agent, would you say they were fit to be director?
Mr. Schiff?
Yes or no? Would they be fit to be director?
I am fit to be the director of the FBI.
If you were the FBI director and you promoted a song with someone who beat an FBI agent with a pole, would you say you were fit to be FBI director?
Mr. Schiff, I am fit to be FBI director based on my 16 years in government service.
And yet you did all these things, Mr. Patel. You can say, oh, I support law enforcement. I decry violence against law enforcement. You can say all that. It's what you did, Mr. Patel, that matters. It's what you did that matters. Well, let me ask
Promoted a song?
Now, before I close, I want to warn the American people who are watching at home. You may hear lies.
That's my girl right there. I think that she be dressing like that on purpose. She know what she be doing. She knew what she be looking like. She be knowing what she look like, bro. Real talk. You know how some girls, how some women be just knowing that they look good and stuff like that, and they dress it, but they don't really address it. They just kind of play it to low, play it low key. They just chill. They make sure that they got the little storm jean gray thing that come down their head. Tulsi Gabbard is gorgeous. And she do that gray thing on purpose. You know what I'm saying? That ain't just by itself. That's what she doing. She doing that gray. Gonna wear all white like an angel over to the Senate hearing. Okay, Tulsi.
Smears in this hearing that'll challenge my loyalty to and my love for our country. Those who oppose my nomination imply that I am loyal to something or someone other than God, my own conscience, and the Constitution of the United States. And she's smart and intelligent. Accusing me of being Trump's puppet, Putin's puppet, Assad's puppet, a guru's puppet, Modi's puppet, not recognizing the absurdity of simultaneously being the puppet of 5 different puppet masters. The same tactic was used against President Trump and failed. The American people elected President Trump with a decisive victory and mandate for change. The fact is, what truly unsettles my political opponents is I refuse to be their puppet.
Patel, do you believe that background checks for firearm purchases are constitutional?
I don't know the in-depths of it, but I think that's what the Supreme
deserves to rot in jail for the rest of his life.
Oh, let's go back.
Ms. Gabbard, a simple yes or
I
no
want to focus on
Do you still think
Ms.
Edward
Gabbard.
Snowden is brave?
Given your hesitance, it's not.
And Ms. Gabbard, let me be clear, at least in my views. I salute your service to our country. But I have serious doubts about your judgment. And those are some of the areas that I want to pursue. First, until you are nominated by the president to be the DNI, you consistently
I hate
praise the
Mr.
actions
Warner
of Edward
also.
Snowden.
I hate Mark Warner also. I hate is a strong word.
I believe
I strongly
jeopardized the
dislike
security
Mark
of our
Warner.
nation, and then, in an effort to flaunt that, fled to Russia. You even called Edward Snowden, and I quote here, a brave whistleblower. Every member of this committee supports the rights of legal whistleblowers.
Hold on, let me see something. What's Poppin' Network says Anton is weird. You weird. Your mama weird. You weird. You weird for subscribing and say that I'm weird. Weirdo. Weirdo. Let's continue.
But Edward Snowden isn't a whistleblower. And in this case,
and y'all must be sassy.
I'm a lot closer to the chairman's words, where he said Snowden is, quote, an egotistical serial liar and traitor who, quote, deserves to rot in jail for the rest of his life. Ms. Gabbard, a simple yes or no question. Do you still think
Eric D ain't no such thing as a conservative Democrat? This Democratic Party ain't nothing like conservative. Ain't nothing conservative about it.
Edward Snowden is brave?
Mr. Vice Chairman, Edward Snowden broke the law. I do not agree with or support with all of the information and intelligence that he released, nor the way in which he did it. There would have been opportunities for him to come to you on this committee or seek out the IG to release that information. The fact is, he also, even as he broke the law, released information that exposed egregious, illegal, and unconstitutional programs that are happening within our government that led to serious reforms that Congress undertook.
Chairman, we got 5 minutes. So I take your answer, and these are your quotes. Brave, please join my bipartisan legislation calling for charges to be dropped against him. Do you disagree that legislation was not appropriate? Do you believe he is brave or not?
Yeah,
back those words.
Once again, Senator, Edward Snowden broke the law. He also released information
we agree that Edward Snowden
that exposed the United States government's illegal
your legislation and your words are still your beliefs. Yes or no, please.
I'm making myself very clear. Edward Snowden broke the law. He released information about the United States government's illegal activities. If I may just finish my thoughts, Senator. In this role that I've been nominated for, confirmed as Director of National Intelligence, I will be responsible for protecting our nation's secrets, and I have 4 immediate steps that I would take to prevent another Snowden-like leak.
Ma'am, I would.
Was President Donald Trump wrong to give blanket clemency to the January 6 defendants?
Thank you, Ranking Member. A couple of things on that. One, the power of the presidential pardon is just that, the president.
Well, I concede he has the authority. I'm asking, was he wrong to do it?
And as we discussed in our private meeting, Senator, I have always rejected any violence against law enforcement, and I have, including in the—
Why do they sit there and get up here and act like that they haven't had a private meeting and have a private relationship with these people? And then at the same time, they get up there and question them like they haven't already gotten the answers to their information. And they just posture. And they pretend like they actually better than you. When you already been in cahoots with me and you've had a private conversation with me. I hate these politicians. They aggravate me so much.
That group is specifically addressed any violence against law enforcement on January 6th. And I do not agree with the commutation of any sentence of any individual who committed violence against law enforcement.
So do you think that America is safer because these 1,600 people have been given an opportunity to come out of serving their sentences?
Yes.
And live in our communities again?
Senator, I have not looked at all 1,600 individual cases. I have always advocated for imprisoning those that cause harm to our law enforcement and civilian communities. I also believe America is not safer because President Biden's commutation of a man who murdered 2 FBI agents, Agent Kohlers and Williams' family, deserve better than to have the man that point blank range fired a shotgun into their heads and murdered them released from prison. So it goes both ways.
There is not a great deal in the public record about what you and Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad discussed for so long in January of 2017. And I think there's a great deal of interest from the American people about what was discussed in that meeting. So what did you talk about? And did you press Assad on things like his use of chemical weapons, systematic torture, and the killing of so many Syrians?
Yes, Senator. I upon returning from this trip, I met with people like then Leader Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer, talked to them and answered their questions about the trip. And quite frankly, I was surprised that There was no one from the intelligence community or the State Department who reached out or showed any interest whatsoever in my takeaways from that trip. I would have been very happy to have a conversation and give them a back brief. I went with former Congressman Dennis Kucinich, who had been there many times before and who had met with Assad before. A number of topics were covered and discussed, and to directly answer your question, yes, I asked him tough questions about his own regime's actions, the use of chemical weapons and the brutal tactics that were being used against his own people.
Were you able to extract any concessions from President Assad?
No, and I didn't expect to, but I felt these issues were important to address.
According to your revised trip report, your third
questions. Okay. I take it
I like
from
Tulsi Gabbard. I think Kash is going to be great, and I think that Trump continues to make very, very smart picks when it comes to the nominees that he recommended that has to now stand before Senate. Let me continue to look at these super chats, and then we'll get over into the last part of the show. Charles Keys Sr. says, Latinas cook every day. Get one. Ritas cook every day. Get one, too. Dion Hendricks says, hey, D, watched Stock Club yesterday, and I loved it. He was cooking, wasn't he? Just wanted to know what's better on fidelity to use. Just go with specs, bro. Just go with specs. It doesn't really matter because you're not going to have a lot of cash that is just sitting around anyway. But go with specs. Performance Chip says, we had a baby, not me personally. It's very simple. Shout out to my dog, Performance Chip. For Meadow in the building says, Adam Schiff's racism came out and said, turn around, saying, yeah. Jay Anderson the Great says, Anton, you were correct about Democrats losing her. Yeah, they lost a good one. They should have rocked with Tulsi Gabbard. That's my baby rogue right there. I'll let her take all of the energy right out. Jesus Christ. All the cutoffs and emotions to think some of these people took debate class. It's crazy. All right, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification. I just wanted to spend 10 minutes on this last thing. Before we got up out of here, and it's Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. J.B. Pritzker. I don't think that J.B. has gotten as much visibility as he's supposed to get. And the reason that I say that is because I think that J.B. has skirted a lot of the responsibility that we are leveraging against horrible Mayor Brandon Johnson, but nonetheless, J.B. Pritzker was backing it, is behind it, and is basically creating a difficult situation for ICE agents to come in and deport illegal migrants, as well as complaining about Trump. In this instance, he says that Trump has instituted an illegal freeze of federal funds to certain things, and that they're lying to y'all. Check it out.
Donald Trump's administration is lying to you. Good afternoon. There have been a lot of conflicting reports and rumors today about the cuts issued by the Trump administration last night to programs that affect average Americans. I have spent last night and today speaking with leaders in Washington, local elected leaders, nonprofit organizations, and my agency heads to make sure that we are doing all we can to stand up for working families and the most vulnerable people in our state who are affected by these cuts. The United States Constitution clearly states that Congress has the power of the purse and sets laws to obligate federal funding for all 50 states. What Donald Trump tried to do in the last 24 hours is illegal. Let's be clear. This is a demonstration of cruelty against people who depend on us. Working families who rely on federal assistance to pay their rent, people who need help paying their utility bills, parents who need critical programs like Head Start for quality, affordable childcare. And
it's already been clarified and it's already been highlighted that Trump is not stopping Section 8, Medicare, food stamps, so on and so forth. So I don't even know what all of this grandstanding is for. It is about diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, monies that is being sent overseas, and so on and so forth. And so freezing funding to things that American taxpayers don't want going out, although I do think that it should be temporary for you to be able to get government assistance for the rest of your life, is crazy. But let's continue.
3.5 million Illinoisans who get their health insurance through Medicaid. Despite what the White House...
And you see, they'll do a whole speech on this nonsense, and it's not even relevant and doesn't even affect them. None of the Medicaid and Medicare payments are stopping at all.
Press secretary said at the podium earlier, I believe it is my duty to report to you the truth of what actually happened today in Illinois. Donald Trump's administration is lying to you. The White House's attempt to walk back what they did today does not match what we saw on the ground. They assured us that Medicaid would not be affected. That was a lie. Our state agencies were unable to access the Medicaid system until an hour ago, preventing payments for services. And this has been reported from states across the nation. When we reached out to federal agencies, they informed us that they have been directed not to discuss any guidance with states. They have canceled previously scheduled meetings for this week. The White House assured us that Head Start would not be affected. That was a lie. Providers across the state experienced outages, and some were unable to make their payroll. They assured us that they were doing nothing to take away individual assistance from the most vulnerable people in our state, but they refused to say that they would restore LIHEAP, the Low-Income Housing Energy Assistance Program, payments to support the unemployment system, and Meals on Wheels. These are programs that hundreds of thousands of Illinoisans depend on: children, seniors, veterans, working parents.
I got a question really quickly while we're looking at this, y'all. I got a question. Do you think that government funding, specifically federal funding to states, should be contingent upon meeting certain requirements and expectations from the federal government? Not that they shouldn't get it, but if you do get it, it should be contingent upon you meeting expectations from the federal government. Just a question. I'm not saying that it should or it shouldn't. Like, you shouldn't try to prevent the federal government from arresting criminals inside of your neighborhoods that's not even supposed to be here. Just a question. Do you think that federal funding should be conditional, or should it be expected by default, no matter what? Let's continue.
Let's just be clear about what happened over the last 24 hours. At 7:42 p.m. last night, we saw a memo from the White House saying that they were pausing federal funding across the board. This morning, along with all 50 states across the country, we discovered that our ability to access critical federal funding had been cut off. And now the administration would like us to believe that these were just coincidental website outages. Donald Trump and his administration have not earned the benefit of the doubt. They are either lying to us or they are critically incompetent.
Ryan Powell says you may be doing well in life, but have some empathy for those who aren't or are too old. What does this have to do with the price of tea in China? What does this have to do with this conversation? Why are people always trying to leverage your success against you? I don't understand it. And why do I have to have empathy for anybody? I don't have to do nothing. I ain't got to do nothing. What they say you got to do, all you got to do is stay black and die. I ain't got to do nothing. I don't know y'all. The only people that I know is my bag chasers. That's my family. My family is the chasers. My family is the chasers, flat out. If my chasers come to me and say, Anton, this is what's going on, those are the people that I jump for. Those are the people that I love. Those are the people that support. That's my community. I don't know the world. I don't know the rest of y'all. For whatever reason, y'all think that we supposed to have sympathy for the world. You want me to also tell you something about yourself? Let me tell you. Let me tell you what else I know. I know that as you tell me that I need to have sympathy and empathy for people that are old, that some of those old people was out here smoking crack. That's what I know. I know that a lot of them is just old, but if you go back and look at their history, they was old and they were fools. I know that the previous generation, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of the previous generation fumbled the bag. They had it better than anybody from any generation that is not in 2025 and have the opportunity to take advantage of what this current administration is doing right now. They had the unions, they had marriage, they had the greatest opportunity of all time. They had pensions. Can you imagine that? Can you think about that? That is a foregone thing. Yo, we don't have pensions today. We don't have pensions today. We have no pensions whatsoever. We don't have pensions today. Ain't that crazy? If you're not investing in your 401k, if you are not a contributing member, if you're not maxing out your 401k to the tune of $23,000, you hit, bro. You absolutely hit. We don't have pensions. Y'all have pensions, fam. You could work and then retire for the rest of your life and not have to worry about anything. Think about that for a minute. Y'all had pensions. They had all of these things, bro. They broke up their families. They decided to do what they wanted to do. They fumbled. They smoked crack. They did all kind of stuff. And now, because we are in a position and we are more responsible, somehow, some way, I'm supposed to have sympathy for you because you old. That means that you made it in life. If you got to an older age, that means that you made it in life. You know what I'm saying? You made it. Antoine, which is not my name, it says, the Millionaire Morning Show with Anton Daniels. To piggyback off of him, you Christian. What would Jesus do? Come in and turn over the tables and said that you need to be responsible. The Comforter is available to the Jew and the Gentile alike, but it does not absolve you from being responsible and being held accountable for the things that you did on this earth. That's what the word says. It's a living word. It's not a word of the past. What does he teach? Man of God. God was not of this world, which means that I don't have to acknowledge anybody that's still in it. The Comforter is available to you too. You know what Jesus told the disciples? It's not my family out there. It's not my family out there. Just because she called me, I'm going to deny her too. Yeah. Jesus denied his own mother because she was not going in the direction that he was going in. He was focused on his disciples. He had a purpose. He had a purpose. He wasn't focused on the world. He saved the world. He gave the world his life so that you can make a better decision, but you chose not to. I don't care nothing about what y'all talking about, bro. I don't care nothing about what y'all talking about. I don't need to have sympathy or empathy for anybody that is not going in the direction that I'm going in. He came in, he rebuked the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He turned over the tables inside of the church. He would often at times debate with the very people that wind up crucifying him. And then the people that he actually came to save was the ones that chose the people, him, what was it? Was it Barabbas? They chose a criminal in order to, instead of releasing him. And you telling me that I'm supposed to focus on what the world think? You care nothing about the world, bro. I'm not even here for the general public. I'm here to speak to the people and to reach in and hopefully grab somebody that's in the world that shouldn't be there to want to do something better. Care nothing about you. Listen, I'm not your simp preacher that sit there on the pulpit and tell you God loves everybody. The kingdom of heaven is for everybody. No, it's not. It's on condition. If you do my will, if you suffer for righteousness' sake, then you will inherit the kingdom of God. The meek shall inherit the earth. It's on condition. Everything is on condition. Your grandma was a hoe for the streets. Your father was out here in the streets, and then they gave their life over to the devil, and I'm supposed to have sympathy for him. I rebuke the devil. I don't pander to the devil. I don't harbor demons. I'm not interested in negotiating with terrorists. The only thing I do is I'm here to tell the truth, and I give you the medicine inside of the candy. The rest of it is up to you. You're my enemy. The world is my enemy. The world is my enemy. You can take it for what you want it to be. It is what it is. I'm not here to negotiate with you. I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm not here to try to have sympathy and empathy for everybody. I'm not here for them. I'm here for the people that actually want to learn. I'm here for the people that want to grow. And I'm here for my chasers. That's it. I'm a man's man. I'm not your father. I should have been, but we pulled out. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to get on. We're going to get y'all up out of here for the day. Trump is going after the establishment, and they trying to tell us he coming for the people. Mr. Lott says, we all know, and since you're a good Christian, that means you're going to forgive me, right? We all know the story about an old head. He was good until he picked up that rock. That's a fact. Abe the Hunter says, crack is whack. Whitney Houston, AD piss poor planning. Now we have to pay. I say, no way. I agree with you. Invest in Izzy says, I rock with you, Anton, but that's not true about our healthcare. It's actually pretty good, and I live here. It's just politics pushing the half truth. Well, they was interviewing the people. I guess the people was lying. Ryan Powell says, Illinois Gov is the same guy that made it easier for the people to commit crime. You must have forgot about him. It is what it is. As a Chicagoan, I only refer to Governor J.B. Pritzker as Fred Flintstone, him and Mayor Mohawk sticking me to the core. I am getting my bag so I can move. Get on up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Get on up out of there. We pulling out. We pulling out. I should have been. You said you can't get her mouth pregnant, Anton? That's a fact. That's a fact. It's Friday, right? Let me get on out of here before it get dark. Let me get on my dark energy. You know what I'm saying? Where my dark energy at? There we go. Dark energy. Let me get on out of here before it get dark. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Leisha Williams. I love you, baby. I love everybody out here in these streets. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. We got after hours tonight, and it's going to be popping. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay focused. Y'all stay up. And Chef 673 says, thus, governor is lying. Medicaid has not stopped. One of my jobs is taking the children who have disabilities paid for by Medicaid. We all got paid today. He is lying with a straight face. I knew he was lying. I knew he was lying. You can't trust anybody that eat that many Krispy Kremes in one sitting. No way, Jose. I don't trust anybody that eat that many Krispy Kremes in one sitting. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Tiffany, you enjoy the show? The Possible, you enjoy the show? Saturday Show Energy. Got all of the Black Forces on. I ain't got no Black Forces on. I got my Yeezy slides on. Got my slides on. I'm dressed for the occasion. I just got my slides on because we under the table. You know what I'm saying? Have a good weekend. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. The show did go quick today, but I'm going to make sure I give y'all 2 hours. I'm never going to short you. I'm never going to lie to you. I'm never going to give you anything other than the honest to God truth. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.